Hello, my Ravelry name is Susie Bell, but my real name is Anne. Miss Babs asked me to make a few videos of some of the stitches unique to our April tour shawl. There are many variations on cable stitches in our pattern for Metamorphose, and I'll be doing several videos of the various types. This video will demonstrate the two basic cable stitches called C3R and C3L. The general action of a cable stitch process is slip some number of stitches to a holder of some sort, place that holder either in front of or behind your needles, and then perform some operation on some number of stitches in some order from both the needles and the holder. Simple, right? In a few minutes it will be. Most people use some sort of holder to save off the required number of stitches. This is called a cable needle, abbreviated CN. These are my lovely rosewood cable needles. The dip helps to keep the stitches from sliding off, and the various sizes are used for different size needles. You can also use plastic ones, or a cable necklace, or a ring that several knitters have referenced, or you could use a paper clip, or you could use a split stitch marker. You could use a pen. You could use a double-pointed needle, or you could even use a kebab skewer. But try to use something close in size to your needles. There are two important components of all cable stitches that are expressed in the label of the stitch. One is the number of stitches involved in the cable, and the other is the direction that the cable will lean. In the case of C3R, we will involve 3 stitches and the cable will lean to the right. In the case of C3L, we will involve 3 stitches and the cable will lean to the left. One more tip before I show you what I'm talking about. The cable will lean to the right if the cable needle is placed in back of the needles. The cable will lean to the left if the cable needle is placed in front of the needles. Right equals back, left equals front. Let's repeat. Right equals back, left equals front. Okay, let's do our C3R. Right away, we know that our cable will involve 3 stitches and it will lean to the right, which means we'll hold our cable needle in the back. Let's go. According to the pattern directions, we'll slip 1 stitch to the cable needle and hold it in the back. Then we'll knit 2 stitches from our left needle, and then we'll knit the stitch from the cable needle. And we're done. One caution, sometimes the cable needle flaps around the back, especially if there's only 1 stitch on it, and you can inadvertently twist the stitch, so try to keep the cable needle steady. Also, rather than knitting directly from the cable needle, you can move it onto the left needle and check to make sure there's no twist and then knit it. It is an extra step, but sometimes it's useful for beginners. Let's do another one. Let me move down my swatch a little bit. Okay, we're going to slip 1 stitch from the left needle onto the cable needle and hold it in back. Then we're going to knit 2 stitches from the left-hand needle. And then this time I'm going to slide the stitch from the cable needle back onto the left needle and then knit that stitch. It's easier to see the direction of the cables from the wrong side, so I'll turn this over and you can see that we have 2 right-leaning cable stitches. Okay, let's do C3L. So right away, we know that we have 3 stitches and they're going to lean in the left, which means we'll be holding the cable needle in the front. So according to the pattern directions, we're going to slip 2 stitches onto the cable needle and hold it in front. Then we're going to knit 1 stitch from the left-hand needle and 2 stitches from the cable needle. There we are. I'll do it one more time, moving down my swatch. Slip 2 stitches to the cable needle and hold it in front. Knit 1 stitch from the left-hand needle. This time I'll slide my stitches from the cable needle back onto the left needle and knit those stitches. Again, we can turn the work around and see that we have our 2 right leaning stitches and our 2 left leaning cable stitches. I do have a confession. I don't actually use a cable needle when I do cables. I find it's much faster and less fiddly if I just use nothing at all. But you really have to be crystal clear on the cable process to do it, and that will be a different video.